YouTube battle community, Beach Boys fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens. We're back for another season of Hey, look at that Beach Boys thing. The show where I show you things from my collection of Beach Boys stuff that I think you might dig. And we're going to do CDs and records today. And let's just jump in with this really cool CD from 1984, which is pretty early for CDs. This is through Arc Records, the Beach Boys, Surfer Girl, and it's the Hype Morgan stuff, with a couple of other random tracks thrown in, Balboa Blue and Wipeout, which of course, again, are by somebody else. I don't know if they're the Surfin' Six, which is kind of how the other band is usually paired up with these packages. I'm not sure exactly who was doing it, but it came out through Charlie Records and Arc Records. Track 4 is supposed to be Luau. It's spelled Luann, which I thought was pretty funny, but dig that. Pretty cool. Up next, hot off the presses, Al's Postcard from California. Love this album. It's such a classic album. Every song on it is great. And it's got 2 bonus tracks, Waves of Love and Sloop John B, the Pirates version, The Pirate's Tale. Sounds fantastic. It was put out through UME at the end of 2022. Very happy to have it in my collection. I've got the LP already. Was it Friday Music put that out? It's a blue record and it's signed, which is pretty cool. This is a really cool find. The Beach Boys, the Broadcast Collection, 1971 to 1985. So what this is a 5-disc CD set packaged in a case like this. It's really cool packaging here. What it is are radio shows. So when they would play a concert, a local radio station would broadcast the concert outward. And it's really cool. They sound fantastic. I mean, they're not perfect, but they sound really, really good. I've heard a lot of bootlegs in my time. These sound good. So you get the Fillmore East in 1971, which is real great because you get Bruce doing Your Song, the Elton John song, and hearing him do it solo, which I've heard before, but like the amount of emotion and the way he Bruceifies the song is just so typically him, and I'm living for it. It sounds so good. But they also bust out It's About Time, Student Demonstration Time, which is a very early version of the song, and they're still getting their feet wet with it. So that is really cool to hear. They also do It Again in Cotton Fields, which is good. And then you jump up to, there's 2 shows from 1980. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it's the same show, but it's part 1 and part 2. But this is cool because you get some really random ones from Keeping the Summer Alive. You actually get to hear Living with a Heartache, which I don't think I've ever heard live before this. Going On, which got played once in a while. Some of Your Love, which I think was the first time they played it here. Lady Linda is on here. They buzzed out Long Tall Texan, which hadn't been played in years. That sums up. Good Timing's on there. School Days. And then you go to 1981, and they play, this is the Washington, D.C. July 4th concert. So they do Back in the USSR, Little Old Lady from Pasadena, which is really cool. Sail on Sailor from 1981, which is also very cool. And then 1985, this is the July 4th concert. Good Vibrations, 1985, at Benjamin Franklin Parkway, as they call it. This one's got Get You Back, which is really cool. Wouldn't It Be Nice? Come Go With Me, which is really nice. Good Vibrations with Christopher Cross. Rockin' All Over the World, Lucille. Barbara Ann makes its album debut on here, which is kind of funny, but here's the back cover. And the CDs are just packaged in these movable door kind of inserts, and every CD looks exactly the same, but that was a great find. That was a really cool find. A couple of 45s for you here. This first one, it's in a caribou sleeve, but it's I Can Hear Music back with Bluebirds Over the Mountain. And this came out in 1974 to help promote those 2 fur albums. So when the Beach Boys got the rights to some of their late 60s records through Warner Reprise, they put out 2 fur albums. They put out, I think it was Smiley Smile and Friends, and then Wild Honey in 2020, I think is how they did it. And so these guys came out to help promote those. But yeah, Bluebirds Over the Mountain and I Can Hear Music. And then from 1981, Come Go With Me, back with Don't Go Near the Water, which is a very interesting B-side. But this was done to promote 10 Years of Harmony, which it actually says right there, 10 Years of Harmony. This single went to number 18. This was a top 20 hit for those guys in 1981 and 82. Very, very cool. But it's nice to have a couple of tracks with Al featured pretty predominantly, especially on Come Go With Me. But yeah, it's a nice shape. It's a little dusty, but dust doesn't scare me. So we'll clear those off. Two albums to show here. This is really cool. So I was going through the record bin, and I was like, ooh, in the summer. And I was like, wait a minute. Why is the text red? This is a British copy. And while it is on a gatefold sleeve, it's a single disc album. Now, I've seen the other version a lot where it's got that picture of them from, I can't think of the name of the beach, but it's from August of 67. I can't think of the name of the beach. Mike's got that red shirt on. That cover for Endless Summer is pretty common, again, for a single disc, but different markings up top. And I'll show you the record itself as well. I mean, it makes sense. You could fit all these songs onto a single disc album, so just do it. I know you make more sales, make more money, because each disc counts as a sale. Hence why back in the 2000s and early 2010s, when bands would put out, like, you know, the bonus edition or the special edition of the album with like a second disc, that counts as another sale. So you're basically getting 2 sales for 1. It's a marketing move, and a very good one at that. But I remember when Weezer put out the Red album, I learned about that at that time. It was 2008 when they did that. But yeah, very cool to grab a copy of this in this type of configuration. This was new to me. I never knew this was a thing with the typical American jacket. So that was pretty cool. And this is pretty awesome. Bootleg Beach Boys stuff doesn't pop up too often, but once in a while it does, and every once in a while it blows your damn mind. This was one of those. So this is Adult Child, with the, I don't know how you want to call it, like the creepy girl or the girl with a cane, with either a massive cigar or one massive joint. But yeah, this is kind of cool. So it's early 1977 Collector Series number 2 on the bottom. And on the back, there's a little bit of a story at the bottom. It says, "This album is almost 100% Brian with help from Carl. Recorded in early 1977, this album features, or album as it's misspelled, this album features many previously unreleased tunes, including Life is for the Living, Deep Purple, It's Over Now, Everyone Wants to Live, Lines, Baseball, Still a Dream of It. As in the past, many tunes scheduled for this LP were slated for other albums, some released, others never seen the light of day. A version of Shorten and Bread appeared on the Light album. Help Is on the Way was originally picked for the new album and Landlocked. The remaining songs on this album are familiar to the collector. Ooh, to the collector. This album was long overdue. Printed in Canada. Here's the back cover. So that's where that blurb I was reading was down there. But yeah, it's got your typical fanfare of Adult Child stuff. Very cool. Let me show you the label here. Just a simple black label put out through Making Waves Ltd. Interesting how they keep writing recorded in early 1977 all over, which I really like that. But yeah, that's a really nice find. You know, the more typical covers, that one with Brian with the the fireman's hat and his adult child and that kind of scribble handwriting. But this was still a really great find. Definitely one of the more expensive Beach Boys things I've ever bought. But it was one of those, like, I'm never gonna see it again. Let's just do it. So, but that's it. That's the first episode of season 4 of Hey, Look at That Beach Boys Thing. So there you go. What Beach Boys things do you have from this collection? Which Beach Boys thing from this collection would you want to add to yours? So there you go. My name is Giggens. This has been Hey, Look at That Beach Boys Thing. Season 4. Can you believe it? 4 seasons of Beach Boys things. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.